Well, what's going on, my people? It's GBP, baby. It's Sunday today. It's currently 2:32 p.m. and we're obviously about to do our weekly review. Hope everyone's feeling good. So yeah, we'll get straight into it. As you can hear, I've got a new mic, so I should be sounding extra crispy. But I've just noticed this now on the weekly actually. This is GBP USD using forex.com. There's an imbalance right here, and I could swear this imbalance wasn't there before. So I'm going to quickly mark that out, but I'm pretty sure that forex.com's data didn't show that before. I would have noticed it. And it does sometimes do this. I do notice that sometimes the data will be reported differently, or it'll change and stuff, which it's a bit weird. Or you'll see things like this open. Well, I guess that's a close and that's open, so I guess there's a gap there, technically speaking. So when we drop down to lower time frames, we can see what that's delineating. But yeah, we can see today we obviously took out buy-side liquidity. This week we took out buy-side liquidity, and then we aggressively traded lower into this range and to this sell-side volume imbalance. Let's drop down to the daily. So we have Monday here, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday was CPI, and that's when we saw ourselves taking out this swing high, and then for the rest of the week we brought it down quite aggressively, taking out this swing low, causing a break in market structure, leaving behind a massive daily fair value gap, and we started trading towards these lows here. In Friday's video, I believe I stated that I have my eyes set out on this swing low here. Yes, this is the sell side I'm looking at. And then we also had the Sundays delineated, the Sunday week openings delineated, and you can see I'll put them in now, and then we'll have a look at how price treated those levels. So I'll be right. Oh. So we'll see how price treated those levels. So the purple lines are the purple lines delineate the Sunday openings. I have already gone through this week, but for all my new viewers, and considering this is a weekly review, it's best we have them marked out on our screens. As again, you can see how price managed to treat them as support and then break through. So now it should act as resistance, and then we traded right down to this Sunday opening. And then next week I'm expecting us to either tap it or tap below into the sell side, and then to start to retrace. I am going to mark out next week. But yeah, this week's been very busy, I'd say, especially considering the way in which we traded the high on Wednesday here during CPI. But then this is also a classic weekly layout. In ICT's core mentorship, he does explain how there's days where it will consolidate Monday, Tuesday, make the high on Wednesday, and then for the rest of the week it will start to run in one direction, and that's what we saw here. Also, seeing Fridays especially active like this is not surprising. I remember there's been multiple times where like a Friday will happen, I'm expecting it to be quiet, and then it'll do a lot of movement like this, and then it's like price just gets away and it just keeps going and going, and people keep thinking it's going to continue to keep going and going just because of how active and how fast it's doing it. And you can see here and here and here how aggressive the market wants to move lower. So this is all confluence and reason as to why I'm expecting lower prices next week specifically. I am still aiming for this sell side liquidity to get tapped, and then we have this fair value gap here, which should now act as resistance, considering assuming we're still bearish, which I am. So what I'd expect is price to trade into it and then use this resistance to then take out the sell side. I have got my eyes on these swing highs here. I am going to mark that out as buy side liquidity. and I'll explain now why I think these highs are quite are relevant. So in order for these highs to get taken, we need to take out some form of sell side liquidity, which is why I have my eyes on this sell side here. Now price can come down here, take out the sell side, and then start to work its up to the buy side. Or what could happen alternatively is that price takes out this sell side, engineers buy side, takes out that and trades to only this, because getting here is going to be quite a high resistance mission, purely because of this bearish order block. Don't get me wrong, I do think they can get swept and probably will, but I'm just saying, like, it's completely possible for price to, like I said, engineer its own liquidity within this range of this gap, I'd say, and then use that as the liquidity it wants to take on the buy side to then move lower. I'll draw what I mean. So price might like move lower, and then this would be an example of price engineering its own. So it could do that. This would be the engineered liquidity. It'll be a significant swing high here, and then it would say, okay, let's use that, and then move lower after. Because remember, our overall bias now is bearish anyway, so we need to keep that in mind. Every time we see a retracement, every time we see price trade up, it's highly likely that it's a retracement and that it's not necessarily looking for higher buy side targets. And that's why you have to keep an eye out for these engineered moments where price will happily just try and trick and build that retail idea that price is going higher, take it, and then again move aggressively lower, because that's what at the end of the day the algorithm is looking like it wants to do. It's in a sell program now, so that's a possibility. But again, I don't want to speak too much. We usually after Monday it's a lot more after Monday it is a lot more clear. So we don't trade Mondays, but usually after my Monday review I have a much better and clear understanding of what price action wants to do. So on the daily, we can look at obviously daily targets. There's sell side here, got this swing low here. So there's a lot of sell side liquidity, but because of how big our move was from here down to here, I am expecting some form of retracement. So there is this fair value gap which we traded through, and I do want to talk about how price returned to it before leaving it. So this was the entry that I made this week. At the end of this video, I am going to show my entries, because I do want to keep it all in one video. So stick around for that. But what I'm saying is that price, again, this is a daily fair value gap, so I wouldn't be surprised if price needs to revisit that on the buy side, because remember, it's only visited it on south side of the curve, so it hasn't been visited on the buy side. So when price does start to trade back higher, whether that's a retracement or whatever, I am expecting resistance within this range, the same way we saw all this consolidation within this range this week. But again, Monday is what makes it all clear. I don't want to say too much, because as soon as Monday's over, we'll have a lot more of a better idea of what's going on. So on Monday, if we do trade into here and stay below the 50% level of this 4-hour gap, I'll mark that out now. $5.7. So let's say on Monday to the tomorrow that we do trade back into here. If we stay below this level, then I'll be under the impression that we are going to take out this sell side liquidity. That is assuming that we don't do that during Sunday, like during Sunday's trading hours. But I mean, this is how I'm looking at price. This is how I'm getting my levels. But once this sell side is taken, I am going to start looking at my buy side targets, which is why my first one would be here until it, of course, engineers its own. Or it will engineer its own now, then take it, and then come back for it. Like, at this point, you really just gotta stay out. This is why I don't trade Mondays, because I'm not sure yet. The market hasn't opened its hand to me yet. So, but as soon as that's happened, obviously I'll be making a video on Monday, and we'll run through it together. So yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say about this week. Again, these Sunday levels, I keep going over these Sunday levels because even I haven't used them, so to speak, so much until this week to this extent, and they've been very helpful, especially the 50% levels of these. Like so, like even the range from here to here, you can see our price uses it. Like used it as support, the 50% level between these two Sundays. Here, this Sunday level and this Sunday level, 50%. We've got a whole bearish order block there. So there's a lot of reason to keep them displayed on our charts. What else was I going to say? It will also be sensible for us to look at our range for the week completely and mark out the 50% level of that. So this was our weekly range. This is the swing high of the week. This is the swing low of the week, and we'll mark out the 50% level. Because again, if we are bearish and we are going to say retrace this week in the new week, then 50% of this range is the most we want to see it retrace for us to remain bearish. Whether we will even reach 50% of our range is a question in itself. Especially considering we broke away so aggressively, it's possible that this will act as a breakaway gap. But I'll mark it out anyway. 0.5, 1.2, 5624. But yeah, the thing about these weekly reviews, you can see I'm a bit all over the place. It's not like I'm here saying, oh, we're going here, because again, Monday hasn't traded and it's a matter of waiting. But it's always good to look at the past week and understand what price is doing. We know we want to go down. Like at the end of the day, we know prices. We know GBP wants to hunt for that sell side. So I'm going to keep these levels marked out, especially this red line. You can see it's resting above the buy side liquidity with a massive fair value gap here. This might act as a considerable premium. I'll show you what I mean. So obviously, if we look at here to here, you'll see that we got this 25% level. And this 25% level is the 50% level between this Sunday and this Sunday. I know it sounds crazy, but that would make everything in here a premium and everything in here a discount. And if we're looking for sales, then we should be selling in the premium, which is why I would want to be looking around these level, everything above this 0.25 level basically next week. I'd want to be looking for sales because it's a high likely scenario that there's going to be selling going on once we reach above here. So let's mark out this 25% level as well. Let me know if this is going over your head, guys, or if I'm clear. I hope I'm being clear. And again, it is a lot. Like, it seems like I'm looking at a lot, but these are all the things which I'm considering when I'm looking at price. Like, it's not just one or two things. It's not just one method. It's not one thing. It has to be a mixture of multiple confluences for me to want to, like, say enter a trade or be committed to a certain bias. So now this blue level is going to act as my premium and discount. Anything below this blue level I'm going to see as a discount, so I don't want to be selling anywhere below here. If it trades above it, then I want to be looking for sales. There's some relative equal highs here. We've got a bearish order block plus the daily fair value gap, which I got marked out in green. So all of that can act as selling criteria for me for the rest of the week. Because again, I'm looking for low prices, and I repeat, not expecting us to trade above this. So this blue line is very important. So I'm probably going to keep that for the week. Let's just thin them a little bit though, a little bit too tick. But sometimes I like it tick, if you know what I mean. Stay respectful, baby. Right, cool. So let's take a look. So this is going to be my charts for this week basically. I'm going to keep them like this. Got my Sunday levels, got my sell side liquidity, I've got my premium discount, and then based off this I'll be able to frame my week. Let's take a look at DXY, and then I'll show you my trades and then I'll come back to GBP and I'll show you my trades that I've done this week. How long we've been going? 15 minutes already. Wow. Oh, would you look at that? I can't remember what day I marked this out. I think it was Thursday. Yeah, it must have been Thursday. Thursday I highlighted the fact that we traded through here, and because we traded through here, this bearish fair value gap became a bullish fair value gap. I drew it out, I marked the 50% level, and I made it black because, as far as I was concerned, price should not trade below it. And as you can see, volume stayed above it. We did wick down, and where did we wick down? We wicked down to this slight imbalance here. It filled it and left price very aggressively. But again, this is all showing bullish nature for dollar, looking for higher prices. We have taken out buy side liquidity on dollar though, and we're getting closer to taking out this buy side. Let's see the daily. Yeah. Dollar looks insane. So dollar. What are we saying about dollar? I marked out this 4-hour volume imbalance. If price is going to remain bullish, then I want dollar to come down, respect this level, and trade higher accordingly. So I'm going to keep this marked out, and that should be itself. Like, this should act as support. If we trade below it, then we should see it turn into resistance, and then we can start looking for other potential sell side liquidity, such as here, or even this order block. But other than that, I'm not going to say too much, because dollar, I can't lie, this price action, it's not as cute as GBP. I like it. It doesn't look very not very confident, but I am expecting this buy side to get tapped. Yeah. God damn. And there's also a weekly imbalance here that I can see us reaching for. These are the kind of imbalances which I mark out, especially with dollar, because it's like that. You'll find that dollar really draws to these kind of levels. So this here, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a weekly target for dollar, whether it does it this week or next. But it's going to need to fill that, because no price has been delivered here, and prices already fell on the downside. So it's going to want to reach it, fill it, and then it'll probably start to look for sell side or want to retrace. And it's not very far from that at all, in all fairness. So it's possible dollar might come down, maybe consolidate, find support here, and then trade higher into this. Cool. How long we've been going? 18 minutes. Right, so I'm going to make a separate video for my trades this week, because this is already a long enough video. I hope I've made everything. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. It won't be as long as this. It'll probably be about 10 minutes long. But I hope I've explained everything clearly in terms of what I'm doing and what I'm expecting. Again, maybe you should draw your chart similar to this. Have a look, maybe it will help. Especially having this level to delineate premium, discount. You know what I mean? I'm even going to type it out. How about that? How about those apples? We got premium. And we got discount. And of course, we're bearish, therefore we're looking for sells in premium and buys in discount. Although I wouldn't recommend any kind of buy-in if we're bearish anyway, because it's going to have a hard time getting to the premium, if that makes sense. But it needs to offer premium, because that's what fair value is. That's another thing to remember. Equilibrium. This is equilibrium. This being equilibrium means that this is consolidation. This is where consolidation a lot of consolidation should happen, which is also fair value, and this is fair value for the banks and the big money, the smart money. So with that in mind, and you can even see here we've consolidated around this level already. So this is a premium level which is at fair value with a daily fair value gap. Like you see how they all these concepts come together into one. There's reason that these levels exist, because when price goes there, it's fair value for the big money to get involved and to start making their sell positions. Right, I'm gonna start waffling. Like I said, I'll quickly make another video explaining my entries for the week, and then I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.